Hi, good evening, everybody. This is MANOJ ONKAR, and I have with me my colleague Hiren Panchal. Hiren, you can wave your hand. Yeah. Okay, so welcome to this introductory masterclass on OD consulting and business coach. So we're going to have a good interaction for the next 90 minutes. Hope you participate, engage in it fully. And the best thing would be to make it interactive, like keep engaging fully, okay? So keep your videos on, everybody. It's very difficult to talk to blank screens, okay? Shubhankar, Anushka, Rajesh Acharya, can you get your videos on? Hey, Rajnish, where are you? Can you get your videos on? Okay, so as we start, let's take a minute to do a fast round of introduction. So I'm Manoj Onkar, and I've been in the field of training consulting for the last 30 years. And now I'll hand over to you. So anybody who wants to jump in, just take like 1 or 2 lines. You can just share.
My name is ONKAR.
Shubhankar, yes.
I was earlier with UCO Bank as general manager.
Right.
And then after that, I was associated with one of the Seva sister organization, that the Indian School of Microfinance for Women.
Fantastic. And where are you based?
Ahmedabad.
Ahmedabad. Okay, great. Welcome. Great. Thank you. Somebody else?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashmi. I'm basically a Gujarati, but right now I'm settled in Bangalore. I'm working in an automobile industry as an training and development manager. So my company is associated with multiple brands, but my main focus area and where I'm located, that is Maruti Suzuki. Apart from that, I'm a certified POS trainer as well, thanks to Dr. Hiren Panchal. So that was the first time when I came in contact with Hiren sir.
Great,
and
fantastic.
This is my second session through Mahabodhi.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Ashmi.
Thank you.
Anshul, welcome. Can you get your videos on? Yes, who would like to go next? Thanks, Anshul.
Hello, so my name is Rajesh Acharya. I'm
Yes.
working with HCP Design Planning and Management as General Manager HR. And I have about in the industry since about 23, 24 years. So that's a brief about me.
Great, thank you. Where are you based, Rajesh?
I'm based in Ahmedabad, sorry.
Yeah. Ahmedabad, yeah, no problem. Yeah. Jen, would you like to go next?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jenny. I am based in Ahmedabad. I'm the Chief People Partner with Because and learning HR since 21 years now.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you. Yes, TT Job.
Yeah, I'm TT Job. I'm into corporate training using experiential methods without PPT. Been at it for 22 years.
Great.
Located at Bangalore.
Okay, perfect. Welcome. Thank you. Okay, anybody else you would like to introduce yourself? Okay, so Vishakha, can you get your video on? And everybody keep your video on, and it is easier to interact like that, okay? So now we are going to introduce you this OD program, as we call it. It's a 6-month initiative for people to master organization development, okay, and implement organization development. So there are different groups of people who could be interested in this. You could be an entrepreneur, you could be a consultant, you could be a trainer or a coach, you could be an HR professional, L&D professional, or just a senior management professional who wants to develop your expertise as a OD professional, okay? And you may want to do look at OD from your own practice, or you may want to do OD to impact your organizations that you are involved with currently. So whichever frame of reference you have, that's perfectly fine. And you will find that all these situations, whether you are an entrepreneur, consultant, you're a consultant, trainer, coach, or professional, HR professional, management professional, you will find this session, we are committed that you find this session very useful for yourself. Okay, so we're going to get into the thick of things very soon. Nilesh, welcome. Nilesh, where are you from?
Ahmedabad.
Okay, great, welcome. And Paul, welcome. Pooja Purohit, welcome. If you guys can keep your videos on, that would be great. And so before we go ahead, if you can share in one line, what interested you to attend today's session? Okay, what are you looking for? What interested you in attending today's session? That would be great if some of you would like to share. And if you want to put it on the chat, that's also fine. Or if you want to unmute and speak, that's also fine. What got you here? What interested you to come here? Yeah, some of you came here because Hiren invited you, but beyond that, right? Yes, Rajesh.
Sir, I would like to say something.
Yeah.
Sir, I have been into training and development since the year 2014. And over a period of time, sir, I have seen that the sales consultant team, which is coming, so year on year, sir, there is a big change that we can see in their personalities, the way of thinking, the kind of lifestyle and culture they follow. So as a training and development manager, I also have to evolve. Apart from that, sir, not only for me, but even for the sales managers or the entire organization, you can say. So they also have to evolve since the new blood is coming in. So they, according to that, we have to also create that type of environment where the productivity is there. And apart from that, we can retain them with us for a very long time.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I wanted to learn this particular type of a skill in detail, and when I saw this message, I thought like maybe I can get some insight about how to make this particular thing happen in a positive way and in a continuous way.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Ashmi. Sushil, welcome. Somebody else? What's your interest in being here? What got you interested? Jenny says more understanding on this topic. Okay, great. Somebody else? Okay, so I'll take it you're just curious, what is this organization development, huh? Okay, so if you can if you can interact and if you can share questions or keep participating actively, that will be more useful. But let's continue. So overall, when we look at organization development, we are looking at being responsible for the transformation of the whole organization. So there is no part of the organization that we are not responsible for. Okay, you can't say, oh, this is not my responsibility, right? So that's the first basic understanding of organization development, is you are responsible for the whole organization. Now, of course, there are some things which you're more responsible for, some things you'll be less responsible for, or in terms of you will need more support from outside. But overall, you can't say this is not my responsibility. Everything in the organization is included in this, right? Whether you're looking at your financial, whether you're looking at your market situation, how you are performing in the market, whether you're looking at processes, whether you're looking at the organization capability, the talent management, the whole picture is involved here, okay? So we're going to go deeper into this. And that's what we also teach in depth and in the 6 months. And it's a very hands-on conversation, not a theoretical training, but it's a hands-on conversation, complete practice and mastery. Okay, so before we go into that, a little bit background. Myself, MANOJ ONKAR, I'm part of Management Innovations. We are sourcing this. We are operating from India, Thailand, Philippines, and UK. And we are a team of 10 plus consultants with expertise in different field, but all of us also contribute in the organization development. And we have seen, and we have had the opportunity of working in this field for long. Personally, I have had the opportunity of training more than 1 lakh people, more than 1,000 trainers. And we have been working with some of the top technologies in the world. Like we'll talk more about it, but we work with Thierry Yu, which is from MIT, Dr. Otto Scharmer, which is world's #1 leadership and change management conversation. We learn strategy from Michael Porter, who's the father of competitive strategy, business strategy. And we use Balanced Scorecard from Harvard Professor Dr. Robert Kaplan and consultant Dr. David Norton. We work with Japan Beacon, and that company Beacon is a 60-year-old consulting firm from Japan, globally present. And we use their innovative thinking system to bring innovation culture in the company. So in short, we have been working for a long time, working with different industries, and we don't work with anything. We work with only globally recognized methodologies, and where there are thousands and thousands of companies and people who have used it successfully, and then we also have been having great success with it. Okay, so having said that, let me just access some slides for your reference as we go ahead. Of course, we are not going to go through all the slides, but some slides will keep there on the screen for you. Okay. You're able to see the slides now, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is very important slide for us. This is our purpose, and we believe that all organizations who want to be great need to be clear about their purpose, why they exist. And there is a whole process. Again, this is part of OD. You are going to help, if you are an OD professional, you have to help the company to get clear of their purpose. Because if they're not clear of their purpose, then they are just a transactional company. Then they're not a organization that is built for doing something really good in the world, right? Or having a purpose is a very like a foundational element. So what we are looking at is we have 3 dimensions of our purpose. First is creating future-ready organizations. Second is creating organizations where people bring their head, heart, and soul. And third is each organization being a positive contribution on the planet. I'll say a little bit more about it, and a way you'll understand OD also from here. So creating future-ready organizations. See, most people are masters of past. They learn from the past, they know the past, and that guides them in their strategy, in their decision making. But as a leader, your responsibility is not to know the past. Your responsibility is to take the organization successfully in the future. And if you want to take the organization successfully in the future, just your being a PhD of the past is not enough. Because doesn't matter which industry you are in, whichever industry. If you look at future, 5 years from now, is that industry going to look the way it was looking 5 years before? No. Is it going to even look how it is right now? No. So one important dimension is to have organizations learn and sense differently, learn differently, work differently, so that they can be future ready. We'll talk about it more, but just it's not just one statement called future ready. It actually means it will be the difference between whether the company will survive or not. Because there are many big companies, giant companies, who lost touch with their future or lost touch with the future and they were very happy with what they had accomplished, and then they got disrupted. So it requires a different kind of mindset, different kind of culture, different kind of leadership to create future-ready organizations. The second, very important, very close to our heart, is creating organizations where people bring their head, heart, and soul. Now, mostly people think this is a joke because almost nobody expects people to bring their soul to the office. And I'm not talking about the employees only. I'm talking even of the leaders and the owners. And then, yeah, people bring the heart, but very soon they realize that if they bring their heart, they will get hurt. So they decide, let's not do all that. Let's keep the heart at home. Okay. Now say, okay, let me bring my head. At least that is good enough. And they bring their head, but very soon they realize they can only bring that much head that their boss can tolerate or appreciate. So bottom line is, most organizations, not all, but most organizations are not a place where people can bring their full self to work. They can't bring their full head, full heart, and full soul to work. And we don't know what magic would have happened if people could be their full self in the workplace, and how and what things can get co-created there. But we are committed for that possibility, and we will share more about how we work on that. And the last thing is each organization being a positive contribution on the planet. And I think that is fundamental. Like, otherwise, you are actually part of the problem. So that's our purpose, and you don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to agree to it. But just for you to know where we think and work from. Okay. Let's go a little further. This will. Okay. So what are the benefits of participation in the OD program? So first is you learn leading edge methodologies of leadership, change management, culture transformation, strategy, and execution. All of these aspects: leadership, change management, culture transformation, strategy, and execution. Not only you learn it, you also have a hands-on practice. You add if you are a consultant or a trainer or a coach, you add to your portfolio. If you are an HR professional or a senior professional, you add to the impact that you are able to create for the company, and you build yourself, build your practice, build your kind of the service that you are able to provide. And you build that with velocity, and you also become part of the whole ecosystem that we are creating, the community that we are creating, which will work nationally and globally. Okay, so let's go. So what do you need as an OD consultant? And what you will get trained in? First is you need to build a visionary approach, which is to actually look at a future, get really oriented around sensing the future. That's critical first element. Second is important part of OD is strategic thinking. Okay. And we'll give you some insights into strategic thinking, but let me give you 2 insights right now. First thing is strategic thinking starts with this question that we ask to our entrepreneurs, clients. We ask them, what is the life that you're planning for your organization? What is the lifespan that you're planning for the organization? Many of them tell us we never thought of it. Now, if you don't think about it, then you cannot plan for it. Right? If you don't plan for it, then you're taking a big risk. So first element of strategic thinking is long-term, having a long-term perspective. You're not looking at 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. That's not long-term. to give you a context, now we don't have to go that long, but just to give you a context, Sony from Japan created a 300-year vision. Now, when you start looking at, may not be 300, but even if you look at, okay, I want to build this organization, I want to take this organization somewhere, and I want it to last beyond my lifetime, or whatever game you have to start thinking 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, that kind of time frame. And that's where you have to do some real thinking. When you're doing short-term thinking, it's more transactional. And as an OD consultant, as an OD expert, you have to train yourself to do long-term thinking, and you have to train people to do that. Okay, so first element of strategy is the long-term. If it is not long-term, we are not talking strategy. And strategy is one of the most misunderstood, misused word in English. So whenever people say strategy, you have no idea what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, so we have to use it in the right sense. And first element of strategy is long-term. Please remember that. If you take away that some of those points today, that should be useful for you for the rest of your life. And first element of strategy is long-term. Whenever people talk about it, you should ask, okay, what time frame are we talking? And if they say 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 years, you know they have no idea, right? So you have to make a difference there. And third element of OD is it has to transform the organization. It has to create a whole new future for the organization. When you start, you will look at one part, and then they will be interested in transforming one area. But as you start working with them and you actually want to strengthen and transform every element of the organization, every department, every function, every activity of the organization, because you're creating a long-term future for the organization. Okay, so that's where we want to start. Sir, TT Job, you are going to sleep if you sit like that. It would be better if you sit, if it is possible. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, so before we go ahead, any questions, comments so far from whatever you heard so far? Anybody? Ajay Kothari, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Okay, so let's continue. So as I mentioned earlier, these are the areas that one has to work on in OD. Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yes. So first and foremost is you're learning and mastering how to transform the leadership. And doesn't mean leadership as the CEO only, right? So you're talking about, but it starts with the top, but yes, you have to work on transforming the leadership, and you have to transform the culture. Now, what do we mean by you have to transform leadership and transform culture? Okay, so we don't mean it in the traditional HR sense. And we don't mean it in terms of just some training programs or activities or all that. No. Now we are connecting back. So we want to look at leadership from the perspective of future ready. What does it take for the leadership to be future ready? Okay, so somebody, can you respond to that? What do you think, what's the most important element for the leadership to be future ready? Anybody, you want to take a guess? Okay, Rajesh Acharya, I got you. Thank you. Yes, somebody? What do you think is required for leadership to be future ready? And Ajay, Shubhankar, everybody keep your videos on. Nilesh, Rishabh, keep your video on. Anushka, Pooja, Sushil, Paul. Thank you. Pooja says proactive, risk taker, and innovativeness. Okay. That's good, Pooja. Thank you. Somebody else? Okay, Rajesh got it. Hope you get the electricity fast. But yeah, be here so as far as you can. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So consider, so we're going to use a language that you may or may not have heard before. Okay. So consider that the first thing that is required for leaders to be future ready is to get out of their head. What does it mean? See, we have, as human beings, we have opinions and judgments, and leaders are successful people, right? So they are more confident about their opinions and judgment. But what also happens is they get more in the trap. And unfortunately, most leaders fall on the trap of not listening. Not listening to how the world is changing. Because what got them success last time, what got them success yesterday, they think that's going to continue. But the world is changing. So what is required for the leadership to be future ready is to actually learn how to get out of their head and how to listen from outside, how to listen from the field instead of listening to what they already know. Now, is it a problem only at the CEO level? No, no. While we said leadership, we also mean every employee, because every employee has to provide leadership. If you want to create a future ready organization, every employee in the organization needs to provide leadership. And the first level of leadership is to actually listen outside of your comfort zone. Listen beyond the world of your head, beyond the world of your opinions and judgments. And that's where the theory U comes in from Otto Scharmer. So we have Pooja, even before adaptability is actually, adaptability is required, but before that is actually listening for contradictory data. Listening for discovering inputs, discovering data, discovering perspectives, which are contradictory to our understanding of the situation or our understanding of the reality. And on a continuous basis, right? So that's kind of leadership that we are talking about, is where we are learning to learn from the future as it emerges. All of us are PhDs of the past, and we have all the concepts of the world, and they are available on Google anytime, right? And with ChatGPT anytime. But that is not going to save us. Right? What is going to require a new kind of competency of learning from the future? Yes, Shubhankar sir, thank you. Learning from the future as it emerges. So the one element of theory U is called U process, which is all about learning from the future as it emerges. Okay, it's like, I'll give you an analogy. If you look at surfing in the ocean, right? If somebody wants to surf in the ocean and they are there in the ocean, and they may be surfing for a long time, they may be swimming for a long time, all that stuff. But every time they have to sense the wave in the present moment. They can't say, oh, I know the waves. No, they have to sense the wave in the present moment every time. And the waves will come. And if you don't sense it, then it will not be a pretty picture, right? You're going to get disrupted. But if you sense it, then you will ride the wave and enjoy and have fun. And then again, be ready for the next wave. And the waves are coming. Waves are coming all the time. And in the world, in the corporate world and otherwise, waves are coming, whether it's technology or competition or government or the disruption that's happening in the world. All kinds of waves are coming and they're multiplying. And if we don't sense them, they are still going to come. If we close our eyes, still the waves are going to come, right? So then what happens? So that's how we get disrupted. Companies get attached to their current reality or what they got them successful. And big companies, giant companies, you know many of them, right? They get into trouble. Tell me some companies, big companies that you know who got into trouble, who got disrupted. Shout out the names, please. So. Ajay? Nokia, okay. Ashmi saying Nokia. Yeah.
Because Nokia is the main one.
Yeah. Nokia at one time had 85% of the market share. And then there was BlackBerry. Some of you might remember that. Right? Senior executives at that time, they would not be seen without a BlackBerry. Now, I don't know where is their BlackBerry now. I don't think they are using it even as a paperweight. Right? Because what happened is they lost touch of the future emerging. And they thought they had a success formula. And that's whenever you are confident of your success formula, that is the beginning of your end. Okay. And you can go to many companies, every industry, you will have companies like that, right? Your Kodak and GM and Ford and all of them have got into trouble and IBM, everybody has got into trouble because they were too big and they thought they are now very successful. But does it happen only to big companies? No. It happens to small companies also. Only thing is when they get disrupted, nobody talks about it. Right? 9 out of 10 small companies die. Nobody talks about that. Right? Why? And it also happens to individuals. Individuals have been very successful and after some time they become irrelevant. So it's for everywhere, right? So that's what we are talking about, new kind of leadership. Leadership which is tuned to learn from the future as it emerges. And then there's the culture also we have to look at. What kind of culture? So a culture of collaboration. Everybody thinks they understand what it is. Culture of what we call it co-sensing, which is collectively sensing the future as it is emerging. And then co-creating. How can we co-create our future in sync with the emerging future? And not, so who should co-create? We have to co-create not only with our staff, but also with our customers, also with the industry, also with people who are not even buying right now, right? Or with our vendors and other associates, like the whole ecosystem. Nowadays, the competition is not among companies, right? People who still fight at the level of company, they are missing the whole point. The game is ecosystem. Right? So it's one ecosystem against the other ecosystem. And you have to you're going to win either as an ecosystem or you're going to be irrelevant. And then there are other dimensions also, but right now let's understand that the whole game is co-creating with the ecosystem. That's the kind of leadership and culture required. And all the silo thinking that we see in the organizations, that's outdated, poisonous, suicidal for organization. Okay, so that's the kind of leadership and change culture building that you have to do, which will make the organization future ready in a collective leadership. Okay, the second element, let's go back to the slide. We talked about is so second element, if you see, is strategic planning and execution. Now, we talked a little bit about strategy earlier. We talked about long-term. The other element of strategy is how can you be unique as an organization? So when we look at strategy in the OD conversation, first three questions we look at. First question is, what is the customer segment that you want to focus? And anybody who tries to have a very big customer segment generally gets into trouble, right? So the first question we look at is, what is the customer segment that you want to focus? Second element is, what needs of this customer segment you want to focus? You can't serve all the needs. And the third is, how are you going to serve these needs in a way that gives you a sustainable competitive advantage? As I was speaking, I just thought of, if somebody says, oh, I want to serve the medium income household, and we want to serve their mobility needs. Even then, you can't be serving all the mobility needs. Right? You can't say I'm making cycles also, and I'm making scooters also, I'm making cars also, and I'm making planes also, and trains also, and all that. You're not going to serve all mobility needs, right? So you're going to look at what segment you're going to serve, what needs of that segment you're going to serve, and how are you going to have a competitive, sustainable advantage. Now, this is where you need a lot of discipline, lot of training, lot of discipline, and some real work has to be done. Okay. So, and when you answer these three questions, in a way, in the background, you're looking at how do you be unique? Right? So these three questions also help you to deal with being unique. If you're not unique, you are a commodity. And the moment you become commodity, that means you are easily replaceable. It's like you go to buy vegetables, and if one vegetable supplier is not there, it doesn't mean you stop having vegetables, right? You will get it from somebody else. Yeah, maybe somebody is better, gives better quality, all that you'll find out how to deal with it. But it's not mission critical. So if somebody says, no, I am going to sell my vegetables at 5 times the price, people will say, okay, thank you very much. We have alternatives. Right? So the point here is, if you become a commodity, you are replaceable. And if you go, nobody's going to miss you. As an organization, you want to build, how do you be unique? And some of you who are part of the organization, some organizations, you should look at, okay, how are we unique? And don't say, oh, we give good service, or, oh, we have better quality. No, you need to be like, does the customer think we are unique? Not we think we are unique. Okay, we may think whatever we want to think. That is not enough. Okay, so the strategic thinking is long-term in nature. Secondly, how are you being unique? Answering these three questions. That's the beginning of strategic thinking. And these are all starting points of OD. Okay. Then comes the big point of OD, which is strategy execution. Strategy execution is, how do you actually convert your strategy into plan and then translate it so that every department and every employee in the company is in alignment with the strategy. The department's focus is alignment with the strategy. Everybody's KRAs are in line with the strategy. Everybody's measurements are in alignment with the strategy. Like, there is no other game. So in a company, once you decide your strategy, you can't have any other game in the company. So if you ask somebody, what are you doing this week? And they will tell you, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Then you ask them, okay, how is it connected with the strategy? Now, many people in the company will say, I don't know what strategy you're talking about. Unfortunately, people don't even know the company strategy, right? So that is something that you have to fix. But assume that they know the strategy, they need to be able to connect. Oh, what I am doing this week or what I'm doing next week is in alignment with this part of the strategy. Now that is what causes extraordinary organization. And that is possible. And this is where the tools of strategic thinking, strategy map, and the balance scorecard come in place, where you actually get the strategy, see how it plays out for every part of the organization, connect it to finance, connect it to sales, connect it to customer service, connect it to products, connect it to R&D, connect it to sourcing, your every element of it. And then connect it to how each department is going to focus on, what they're going to focus on, how they're going to work, their processes, connect it to each person, their responsibilities, their KRS. And that's the real kind of work. So the whole strategy creation is one part, very important, but strategy execution is like, that's where most of the work you will have to do. And like normally when we recommend people to do OD, or we do OD assignments, we take 3-year assignments, right? And 3-year assignments, if you look at what are we doing, 2 years we are doing execution only. Initially, we work on all this leadership, culture change, everything, which we have to work on all the time. It doesn't stop. None of this stops. You have to work on leadership, you have to work on culture, you have to work on other aspects. You have to work on seeing the industry, studying the industry, all of that will happen. But then once you get your strategy sorted out, while you are keeping on learning and connecting everything, the major portion of OD is managing the execution. Otherwise, you have great plans, great dreams, but doesn't convert into reality, right? So your job is not only to support the company to have a great vision, great purpose, great strategy, but then you have to execute it, manage the execution, so that that strategy gives you the results that you want. Okay, so let me pause here. We have touched the first chapter here in a way of OD. Let's see if you have any questions or clarity you need, any comments. Go ahead. Ajay, Rajesh, Nilesh, Jenny, Ashmi.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So I have seen that many organizations, they connect with the kind of consultancy firm, which provide them this future ready kind of strategies.
Yeah.
And I mean, the monetarily also they spend a lot. In terms of time also they invest a lot.
Right.
But sir, this type of projects doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
I mean, they follow for a couple of months, maybe we can say like a maximum a year. But afterwards, they come back again to the old way of work.
Yes.
So what is the reason behind that?
There could be many reasons. But one, if you want to look at one major reason, is what we call as organizational immunity to change. Right? See, organizations and our management systems are not designed for change. They're designed for continuity. They're designed for what would you say is predictability. Right? Unfortunately, the world is changing, but our management system is outdated. Our management thinking is outdated. Right? So if you look at all our policies, all our processes of management, they are all designed as if we are living in a stable world. Okay? And everybody in the management team, management group thinking, and they get trained to, oh, I want kind of stable. I want things to be stable. Right? And so there is a inbuilt immunity to change. Okay. And unless you would start addressing it and you train people to address it, people will always find ways to destroy whatever new is getting created. Right? Now, that is one major reason. Now, is that the only reason? No, there could be many other reasons also, right? Including maybe the change initiatives are not correct, or maybe your execution team is not there, or maybe the focus on execution is not being managed properly. There could be many other factors, but one major factor, you could say 75% of the time, is this whole organizational immunity to change. And the first step about that is, in addressing that, is to get people aware that all organizations, all of us have an immunity to change. So while we want to bring in this change, let's look at how are we going to address, how are we going to even identify the organizational immunity to change, right? So when you bring that discussion on the table and continue to keep that discussion on the table all the time, then you will kind of have better chance. Okay? Otherwise, what you said happens. There is, on one side, some people will take initiative to bring in change, but then the whole organization will together destroy all such initiative because they want to stay with the comfort zone, or they want to stay with the past, even though they know that that is not working or that's not going to work in the future, right? Thanks, Ashmi. I hope it helps.
Manoj sir, I would
Yes,
like to
Paul.
ask this.
Please.
I really appreciate for this session. Thank you so much for this.
Welcome.
Let's suppose I am already working with one of the company and I feel that this company needs a change
Right.
for some X reason.
Yeah.
How would I explain this OD to them? Like, if I'm the business owner and you have to tell me that we do OD also, so how would I explain him in 1 minute?
I would say, I would start where I said, first question is, what is the life you're planning for this organization?
Okay.
So what's your answer?
Yeah, maybe 30 years.
Okay. So the other aspect that I would add there is, see, now depends on the company, right? How big is this company you're referring to?
100 CR.
100 CR, okay. And how old is it?
13 years.
Okay, so they will have some systems in place, right?
Correct.
And they have had some success and all of that, right?
Correct.
Okay, so and do you know what are their challenges? Do you know what are their ambitions? So one of the things is to connect with the ambition. So we would ask them, like one of the tools we use also, in that we ask people, what is your most important objective? So if you're the CEO,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, what's your most important objective?
Well, I want to be number one in India. My company wants to be number one in India.
Okay. In which field?
Into safety.
Safety. Okay. Say something
Safety
more.
tools. Safety tools, which provides in the factories, shoes and helmet and all those things, fire extinguishers.
Right. Okay. Great. And right now, what would you say your rank is?
Nowhere, somewhere.
Okay. And you don't have to give us the details, but I'm just saying, do you know what the size of this industry?
Yeah, it's close to, as last time we have said, it's close to 150 billion.
Oh, great. And who are the top players in this game?
Not aware about them as of now.
Okay. So, Paul, while I'm answering your question, I'm going to also keep briefing other people so that they can continue to think along with us. Yeah? So one thing is, whenever you're talking to any client or any company, you have to understand that we need to learn about a couple of things. We need to learn about the industry. So if you look at, that's the kind of question I'm trying to ask Paul. You need to also learn about the top players in the industry. You need to know the customer segment. You need to know your competitors. You need to know your service providers, your vendors.
Okay.
So industry size, industry challenges, the top players, competitors, your important vendors, suppliers. These are all part of the ecosystem that we need to understand.
Okay.
Right? Because if you don't understand that, you can't speak anything. This is like the basics.
Okay.
We are not even in the game otherwise.
Correct.
So, so we need to understand that, and we need to see, okay, so you said that you want to be the top player. You're saying the industry potential is very high, 1.5 billion, right? Is that what you said?
150 asset.
150 billion. Oh, yeah. And great. And so what challenges do you see right now?
Of course, the revenue is a major challenges because of competition. Margins have gone down, and the team playing, the employees, the office cost, everything is going up.
Right.
Major
Okay.
challenge is sales, of course. Revenue is something which is the major challenge.
Right. Thank you very much. So, Paul, if you just pause, what is your role? Are you part of a company or you're a consultant, coach, what?
Yeah, I'm
Or you're an
working,
entrepreneur?
just working there as a trainer.
Okay.
Conduct
got that.
employee engagement, but I would like to present them OD also. So
Brilliant.
how would I
Brilliant.
tell them that OD is this and this is what it will bring to you?
Right. So, firstly, as I said, try to develop understanding of the points that we mentioned, right? Like the industry, the big players, the competition, the important customer segments, right?
Correct.
Do you know anything about which customer segment they focus on?
They majorly focus on manufacturing firms. This is the
Right.
B2B.
B2B game, right?
And then they also want to be into e-commerce where they can say B2C,
Right.
which they are planning to build, which is why they don't know whether they should get into it or not.
Right.
Because that's new for them.
Right. Yeah. And where are they sourcing from?
Sourcing, can you be more?
Like either the raw material or the finished good, whatever they are buying, right? They're buying from somewhere, right?
Yes, of course. They have some brands.
Okay.
And they get it from there. They're getting from Germany and they get from India, local market, everywhere they source it.
Right. And they are they assembling it or are they just selling it ready?
No, they are ready products. They're ready products.
Right. So they are more like a reseller, right?
Correct.
Okay.
More like a distributor, you can say.
Distributor, right? Okay. Yeah. Good. And so one of the things we also look at is their costing, right? Not pricing, but their costing. How do they compare how do they compare against their competitors? Like, is their costing better in some form than the competitor? If not, then you're going to always face a problem, right?
Correct.
So these are some of the basics that you have to understand. Okay. Now, the other dimension is most companies, mid-sized companies, small companies. So we explain to them in this way that there are three aspects of a business. One is the day-to-day running of the business, right?
Okay.
Second is the business model. And third is building the organization.
Correct.
And I hope everybody is in the conversation. So what happens is the day-to-day business, running of the business is very seducing. It will take away 28 hours in a day. If you give it 28, it will take away 28, right? And if you give 36, then it will take over 36. It's like it just never stops, right? The work is always there. But then people have to take time out and then sort out their business model. So some people do it, but not enough. And very less time is invested into building the organization. People are trying to build the business, but they don't invest in building the organization. If you build a strong organization, then you can do businesses. But if you build a business, it doesn't mean you build the organization.
Okay.
So for most small and medium enterprise, the challenge is how do I build an organization? Okay. And what are the various elements of that? And that's part of the OD. Okay. So not so that you can actually have an organization which is, as you said, going to last for 30-35 years in a successful way.
Okay.
That is the real challenge of OD, or the real game of OD, to build a sustainable organization. And sustainable means also successful. It cannot be sustainable without being
Correct.
Right. So does that give you some idea?
Yes. Yep. Thank you.
And keep asking questions as we go ahead. And there
Sure.
are many other elements we are going to connect, but I'm just giving you the starting point for your preparation, for your kind of homework that you have to do before you talk to the people, right?
And one more question, sir, if I'm not
Please.
taking much time.
No problem.
In order to be an OD consultant
Yeah.
in the market,
Hmm.
do you have to be certified, or if you can learn
No, you
from?
need to be expert. You don't need
Okay.
to be certified.
All right.
Certified is not much useful.
Okay.
Expertise is more useful.
Fantastic. Yeah. That answers my question. Thanks.
Yeah. Because businessmen are not they're not looking for certificate. They're looking for your expertise.
Expertise, correct.
And
Yeah.
they can test your expertise very easily.
Correct.
They're street smart, right? They can
Smarts.
test your expertise very easily.
Correct.
Right? Whether you've done the homework or not, and whether
Correct.
you really understand the challenges, and are you in that world or not? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir.
that's also what we train people in this 6-month program. And so this is the starting point, what we looked at. And we're going to cover many more topics. But Paul, thanks for bringing this in, and keep bringing in other elements as we go ahead. Okay.
Sure.
Great. Anything else for anybody? Rajendra, welcome. Ashmi, Rajendra, Ajay, Rishabh, Anushka, anything for you?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay. Pooja, Sushil and BL Harish, welcome. Can you get your videos on? Okay, Hiran, anything for you? Any question or anything you want to say?
No, nothing right now.
Okay, so let me go back to that slide again. I think that is going to help us go ahead. So as we look at execution, you're able to see that slide, right? Hiran?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay,
Can see.
okay, good. So we talked about leadership, we talked about culture transformation a little bit. We're talking about strategic planning and execution. Along with that comes talent management. Now, and performance management. So we say, in a very bad way, we say 50% of all organization problems start with wrong people in the wrong roles. And till now, no CEO has ever opposed what we say. They're always just feeling sad about it. But now what happens is, unfortunately, people are, how do I say, people are quite bankrupt when it comes to proper talent building, proper recruitment, and they kind of just make blunders there. Okay. Sorry to say it. I don't have any other good way of, I was trying to find some good way of saying it, but couldn't find. Okay. So let's look at what happens really. Firstly, if you look at any company and if you look at the job description, in small and medium-sized companies, you may not even find job descriptions properly, or you may not even find at all. But if you find, they'll be so lame. Okay. Like first question that I ask in the job description is, have you mentioned what results is this person in this role going to be accountable for? If not, then throw away the job description. Useless. Right? So we have to look at every role. So there's a element what we call RCF, role-based competency framework. Okay. So every role we need to understand what results this person in this position has to be accountable for. And for those results, what actions they need to be taking, what challenges will they face, what people, what groups of people internally, externally, they will have to deal with. Unless you have these elements included in the JD is incomplete. And incomplete JD is dangerous. Then comes, okay, now once you understand these are the results they have to produce, these are the actions, these are the challenges, these are the people they have to deal with, then you look at what is the competency required for this role. So most of you know competency, we measure it in a very simple way. We call it cash. Many people have used this system. We call it cash. Cash is K-A-S-H, not C-A-S-H. Cash with the K gives you the cash with the C. Okay, but first you need the cash with the K, which is knowledge. If this person is to produce this result and they have to deal with these challenges and they have to take this kind of actions, what knowledge component is required? Right? Not just behavioral, technical skills, technical competence, technical knowledge, right? Behavioral knowledge, communication, whatever else is required, all managerial, if the role is managerial. So first you look at K, knowledge. Then you look at what skills is required. Okay. Then you look at what are the behavior, work processes you require, and what are the attitude you require. Attitude is also measured as behavior, right? You cannot measure attitude, but you can see the behavior. So cash is knowledge, K-A-S-H. I know I'm saying attitude later because we want to focus on first knowledge, then skills, then attitude, and then work habits and processes. We can go deeper into it, but let's just understand here as cash, knowledge, skills, attitude, and habits, work habits. Work habit is also processes. Because if you're a genius, but if you don't have proper work habits, then for a company, you can be dangerous, right? And so you look at this kind of competency. So you understand the JD, you create the competency framework. You have to create a customized competency framework for each company, not buy the ready-made available from consultants, right? We actually help each company to design their competency framework, and it has to be, we design it holistically. Most competency framework, only HR people deal with it. Business people don't even touch it. We design it in such a way that we help the business team is also involved in the building of the competency framework and then using of the competency framework. Okay, it has to become a common language. It cannot be a silo call, oh, this is an HR issue. No, no, no. Competency framework is the foundation of the company. So based on that, then we look at competency framework. Once it's created for each role, then you have to evaluate your current employees. You have to create assessment for this competency. Okay, if I want to test the knowledge, how will I test it? If I want to test the skills, how will I test it? If I want to see the behavior, how will I evaluate it? I want to see the work habits and process, how I'm going to evaluate it. So you need to create some evaluation mechanisms and then test your current people on it. Then you know where you are, right? And then similarly, you have to create test and evaluation system for the new people. And then there is a, that becomes then the foundation for your recruitment process. Once you know the JD and then you know the competency required, then you have the assessments and systems in place. And then you have to train the people who are interviewing, right? Most managers are not trained in how to interview. Right? And they are so bad that you might be better off just selecting from the resume. The interviewing is so biased and so negative or so ineffective that there is no positive contribution of conducting interviews unless you train the person who's going to interview in how to interview. So there is a whole method. Many of you might have heard of it. We recommend that. It's called the BEI method, behavioral event interview. It focuses on past behavior of the candidate, not hypothetical questions. No hypothetical question, no hypothetical situations, all that stuff, but actually finding out what people have already done and how they have done it. So it's like really looking into their past to predict how they will behave in the future instead of doing some hypothetical conversation. So now coming to these are I'm again giving you just an overview. So if you want to upgrade the whole talent management system of a company, this is where you go. You start with of course, you start with the strategy, but then from there you look at, okay, what is the JD? what are the results and challenges this role has to do. Then from there, you come to the competency, then you come to the assessment, and then you come to the interviewing process. So, and when you use the assessment for the existing employees, you can upgrade them. And you use the assessments and the BEI interview for the new employees, so you stop making new mistakes. And slowly you upgrade your whole talent component of the company. And that is the foundation, right? Without competent people, what are you going to do? There's no future. Okay, so that is the, let me go back. So that's talent management. Then, yeah, we work with some of the top sales methodologies in the world. This is called consultative selling, and we train companies in that, and we train our people into training in that. For customer service, there is a whole serve call method. If you want to know more about it, you can check it out. SERV, serve call, QUAL, serve call method. For consultative selling, there's a lot of world available there. Innovation, we work with Beacon Japan, as we mentioned in the starting, and we train people in innovative thinking system. Okay, and these are the foundational elements of OD that we learn and we work with in this program. Let me pause here and take questions. Questions, comments? Jenny, all clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Hiren, anything for you? Okay, good. Paul?
No, sir. If you can just repeat the methodologies you said, like serve and competitive selling, I just missed it.
So if you want to impact a service, customer service, then one of the method that we use is called serve call. It's a short form of service quality. So serve, SERVQUAL.
Okay.
You can you can check that out on the net. You're going to get good information on that. Okay. And when you want to work with companies' sales systems, then we have our indigenous sales management system. But for the selling skills, we use consultative selling. Consultative selling is an established methodology of selling. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. And then for innovation, we work with the ITS Innovative Thinking System from Beacon Japan.
Okay.
Okay, great. So now, so this is the kind of work that we do, and this is the kind of work we train people in this program. So now I'm going to talk more about the program. So it's a 6-month program. Let me just take you through the slides for that. These are some of the companies where theory used. These are some of the technologies that we use in our conversation here. But yeah, so it's a 6-month program, which will have every month there will be one weekend, that is a Saturday, Sunday, except the first month, which will be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 6 intense weekends, 9 to 6 both the days. 3 weekends will be in person, 3 weekends will be online. And that is the major pillar on which the program is designed. The other pillar is the 20 high impact coaching sessions of 2 hours each. So you can say in 1 month, there is 1 weekend and 3 coaching sessions of 2 hours each, group coaching sessions, right? And then there is practical. So you will have you will be coaching somebody, and somebody will be coaching you. So there will be a buddy coach. So you'll actually practice learning it for yourself, learn and applying it to yourself, but also working with on real situations. Okay, so that is the methodology. 6 months, 6 weekends, 3 weekends in person, 3 weekends online, and 20 online coaching sessions, 2 hours each. And plus you will be working with buddies, and You'll be coaching somebody and somebody will be coaching you in actually applying this business coaching and OD consulting hands-on. These are the dates. The next program is starting on September 27th, sorry, 27, 28, 29. This will be in person, and then October will be online, November will be in person, December online, January in person, February online. Okay, so it starts on 27th September, ends on 23rd February. Along with these weekends, we will have the coaching sessions, and then there will be personal guidance. And there is no restriction for personal guidance. So as and when required, those calls are scheduled, and there is no limitation to it. The whole game is in 6 months' time, you have to become quite good at OD consulting. You can start taking projects. We encourage people to take on projects even halfway in the course. Don't even wait for the end of the course. Right? Some people are all, like our first batch that is going on. We have just completed the first and the second weekend, so we're not even halfway down. But people have already started taking on some assignments, and then we handhold them in how to actually work with their clients. Okay, and so yeah, so this is the schedule. And also, once people complete the program, even during the program, we encourage them to network with each other. But then after the program, they become part of the community forever, till the time they want to be. And there's a community of OD consultants who support and work with each other using the same principles. And as we mentioned, we have a community which works and which is getting further built to work from all these countries, India, Thailand, Philippines, and UK. And of course, we want to expand to some other countries also. So this is about the program. And yeah, I am the core faculty, and then there will be some other people as required. And okay. And the program costs 3 lakh rupees. But currently, as a promotional price for people who take the offer immediately, they will be getting this program, 6-month program, at 2 lakh rupees. And for registering, you have to pay a minimum of 25,000 plus tax, which is 29,500. And you can book your seat, and then you can pay the balance before the starting of the program, which is on 27th of September. Okay, so this is the program structure and the tuition. And great. So we will pause here again and see if you have any questions.
Manoj sir, just a question,
Yes.
like if
Fine.
the company is for like 100 CR company or
Right.
less than that,
Right.
and if you want to take the project,
Right.
how much should we charge them, and what should be the time period for the project?
See, it's all these are very subjective and depends on your mastery. There are no fixed thing. It depends on your mastery, and it depends on the industry, and also the promoters themselves, the directors. It depends on a lot of those factors.
You can help me with the industry considering 100 CR company, minimum and maximum. A range will be helpful.
Yeah, see, normally we say that any OD thing, OD initiative, the ideal time period is 3 years. Okay.
Okay.
And of course, minimum starts with 1 year, but the ideal is 3 years. Right. So that is what we look at. Now, consider how much you will charge. I think that's a very, very big number. It can go from very less to quite substantial. It all depends. Okay. I don't think there is a thumb rule like that. There's a lot of flexibility.
I mean, in the industry, the OD professionals, what is the average they charge for 1 year or 3 year? If you can help, that'll be helpful. As you're in that industry, you know better.
I know better, but that's why I can't say, because it depends so much on who you are, your capability, and how you are perceived in the market, and all of those things are also important. And what capability you have, like, so it depends on many factors. That's why you can't say. Okay.
Now, if I
So,
have to, put it in this way, like let's suppose I have taken this course and I have completed 6 months, and after that, I'm sure you will be enabling us to be a better OD professional.
yeah.
So, and if I get first or second project, so where should I start? What could be the price I should charge there? I'm just getting an idea.
Yeah, so we recommend, we look at, see, there are people already have certain price point at which they are working, right? And we don't encourage them to change the price point immediately. We encourage them to first become good at what they're doing, right? And then, see, you need to be confident at whatever price you're going to quote, you need to be confident.
Correct.
Okay. But to give you some answers so that you don't feel that I'm dodging your question or escaping your question. Okay. So if it's a good company, and it depends on that, and it also depends on the commitment level of the entrepreneurs for the future that they want to build. You can look at I'll tell you, it can start from as low as 1 lakh rupees a month to it can go to 1 crore rupees a year, right?
Okay.
And even more, depending on many other factors, right? So
Correct.
in a way, you can say it starts from 12 lakh rupees a year to roughly 1.5 up to 2 crores a year.
And the OD professional has to work on an individual basis, or he must have a team along with him to be an expert in OD or to bring a change in the company.
See, if you people are working in both formats. There are people who work as individuals, right? And smart people work in teams.
Correct.
Because you can't be an expert at everything.
Correct.
And even if you're an expert, you need to divide the work so that you can focus on certain things. Okay.
Correct.
So, like for example, one of our big projects was manufacturing company in Thailand. We did a 2-year project, and we did 1 year training before we took the 2-year project. And so I had a partner from Philippines who also has office in Thailand. We worked together on that. And at the end of this whole 3 years, right, because we worked on all these multiple aspects together, they had major transformation. And after some time, they got awarded by their prime minister as the best managed small and medium enterprise.
Wow.
And then more importantly, now after that, they continue every year, they continue to get awards. We are not working with them anymore. We only did 3 years. But after that, they're still continuing to get great awards, and whatever we created with them, and they're still continuing. For example, we encourage them and work with them to bring in continuous innovation. They're still continuing all that. And they, right now, after 3 years, I sent out a message to the CEO saying, hey, can you give me a testimonial? And you'll not believe, without follow-up, within 1 week, within 1 week, the CEO and their sales director, they created a video and sent it to me. And those guys don't even speak much English, but still they managed to do it and record it in English and send it.
Correct.
So if you do deep work and they see you as that you're committed to the organization, then you build a long-term relationship. And OD is always long-term.
Correct.
Right. One of the things is from a training, see, most trainers don't have the long-term orientation. They are like chemists. This is like you're a family doctor.
Correct. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Great. Anything?
Sir, Manoj, I would like to add here.
Yes, please. Yeah.
The Paul has asked a very wonderful question, because most of the trainers, most of the coaches, they have the ambition of now upgrading their career to the OD consultant coaches. And that's what the need which we have identified, earlier. And we have launched this program specifically for the trainers and coaches who have almost 10-15 years experience. Now they want to upgrade their career and they want to also become a subject matter expert. So this course is specifically designed, for them. Last batch, what we have started in June, we have people who are freelance trainers who are already a consultant coach, They have joined, and some of the people from big corporates like SPI Life Science and Accenture, their L&D also joined this course, and they specifically be also a part of this course, right? Though me and MANOJ has launched this program, but because I want to learn and I want to upgrade myself also, right? So this is the course which I'm currently going through. But believe me, one thing which I can tell, that the kind of content, the kind of in-depth content what we are getting is something amazing. You see, in this 6 month of journey, you will not become maybe an audit consultant. In during this day, after 6 months, definitely you will be have the complete idea and everything, and you are ready to start with the project, right? But the kind of content what you are getting, the kind of clarity what you are getting on the concepts, it will help you 100-fold in whatever delivery you are doing for training programs. It can be an leadership training program. It can be managerial effectiveness. It can be any training. The content what you are getting is something extraordinary, right? So that is a premium content which you can charge premium in your current trainings. Simultaneously, you are getting ready for the audit consulting. And the one of the finest part that we are coaching our batchmates, our colleagues, right? So that gives you the hands-on experience during this 6 months. And I have seen that in last batches, 2 of the people has got coaching clients, because it is not only OD consulting, you are also getting trained on the business coaching, right? So you can now coach the individual entrepreneurs also, and how to coach, that is also being taught in this course. So I think this 6 months is worth investing. Money is a part, but 6 month time, what you are going to invest here, every Wednesday we are having 2 hours of coaching calls, group coaching call. And then we are also working to individual coaching calls with our colleagues. And this every month, 2 days, full day learning. So this actually 6 months of learning is going to be make a complete drastic change in your career.
It's like a 6-month boot camp.
Boot camp. It is a 6-month boot camp. Yeah.
Right. And Hiren, you want to share some key learnings that you have had out of this program? So
Yes,
far?
yes, definitely.
You just begun, but still.
Yeah, it is just on the bank, bank of the store of the, we are standing, but definitely what, I'm learning here is the theory balance scorecard, definitely amazing thing. Most of the people are using it only for the performance, thing, but it is beyond it, So how to use the balance scorecard in mapping the strategy, creating the strategy, theory very, very deep impact you will have once you will go through it. So initially I have done the 2 days course of theory U also, and then I have enrolled for this OD consulting program, right? So in that theory U, whatever you are going to learn is completely, it will change your mindset, the way you see the things. As Manoj said, how you have to see the future. So how you can see the future. So this is by theory, you will get to know how you can see the future, how you can tap into people's mind. People means your stakeholders, your customers, your colleagues, your subordinates, your leaders, and as a coach in the entrepreneurs or your clients' mind, So how to derive that purpose, higher purpose, and based on that, creating the vision, then the strategy, then the execution, a lot many things actually. So the journey is still continue, but in last 2 months, whatever we have learned, it's something amazing. Thank you, Manu. Thank you for that.
Okay, welcome. Yeah, and this is a kind of a residential course. So when you're coming for the in-person, and if you're from out of Ahmedabad, then the in-person event will be in Ahmedabad. So people who are coming from out of Ahmedabad, the accommodation is provided by the course, right? So by the program. So the accommodation is included in this.
Food, accommodation, and that all things are included. Yes, in the course way.
Yeah. Okay, great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share here my contact numbers, and Hiren, you should also send your contact numbers here.
They have my number.
Yeah, but there's some people who may not be knowing,
okay,
having this. You can send it if you don't mind. Okay. And yeah, if you want to register, you can reach out to me or Hiren on this number. I am also going to share. 1 second. Okay, in the meanwhile, while I'm searching one more information to share with you, if you have any question, you can go ahead. Anybody?
Hi, sir. This is Pooja.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Pooja.
Thank you for this wonderful session, sir.
Welcome.
I just wanted to know, I don't know if this is if it's very vague to ask, but when we talk about OD, organization development, it would mean different for different organizations. It cannot be same for each and every product or
Yes.
service then that we talk about. So then,
Sure.
for us, our credibility is at time question as to how much expertise you have to come up and give us insights into how to go ahead and bring about that change. When I want to ask, when you give some inputs, how open are people to accepting those inputs? And at times the effectiveness is also challenged or asked, that if we have given certain input and if they are using those inputs, um, what is their effectiveness, long-term effectiveness? So that is what I wanted to understand from you, that if at all an OD, we want to work as an OD consultant and we join this course,
Right.
what will be the detailed structure or understanding we would get, considering our background. I am from training fraternity, so I wanted to know a bit into that detail.
Right. Yes, Pooja, I'm going to respond to you in 1 second, okay? So, okay. So I have sent you the link also here for people, those who want to register, they can pay 25,000 plus tax, that is 29,500 on this payment link I have sent on ReservePay. Plus I have sent my mobile number, you can also GPay on that. Okay, now I'm going to go back to Pooja. So Pooja, I think it's a very valid question. And this is a big difference between training and consulting, and especially OD consulting. So see, what you are going to learn in this 6 months, it makes you understand organizations. Doesn't matter which industry it is. Okay, so you can, with the help of the tools that you will learn, you will be able to understand the organization, right? Whichever industry it is in, and you will be able to understand how are they doing on multiple parameters, from financial perspective, from the how they are doing in the market, how strong they are in their processes, and how strong they are in the talent process, and all of that. Now it's like industry agnostic. Okay, so you are learning fundamentals which will help you to deal with any kind of industry. We have worked with education, we worked with hospitals, we worked with 30 industries, different types of industries. IT doesn't, all of that. Okay, so you learn those aspects which are critical to help you understand any industry you get into, any company you get into. Secondly, you are never going to give them any advice or any suggestion, this is what you should do. No. What we do as OD consultants is we use a framework in which we are going to help them do the thinking. Okay, Pooja, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I'll give you an example, okay? And this is good that you asked. So for example, company wants to increase revenue. Paul, are you there? Paul,
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
I'm following.
So many companies will say, oh, we want to increase revenue, okay? So now we have a framework. And this is created by us, of course, built on Balanced Scorecard, but this is our own creation. We call it a PCG framework. And then there is a additional aspect called PCCG. Okay, so I'll explain that to you. So where does revenue come from? So there are mainly 3 channels, 3 dimensions of revenue. If you look at an X, Y, and Z axis, you can put this P, C, and G. P for product portfolio, C for customer segments, and G for geographical presence. So if anybody wants to increase revenue, they had to look at what is the current revenue. And if you look at the current revenue, like Paul said, 100 crore, break it up into various products. Which product is getting you how much revenue? Okay. Then you look at customer segment. Which customer segments you are serving? Oh, manufacturing. Okay, this type of manufacturing or this small. So you divide the segment. You first have to learn segmentation. I can't do it right now, but once you learn segmentation, then you look at which customer segment is giving you how much business. So that 100 crores is again divided. First, you divide it into different products. Which product is selling how much? Second, you divide it into customer segments. Third, you divide into geography. Which city, which state, where, which country, how much. So you look at the distribution. Then you have a choice. Do you want to increase the product portfolio? Or do you want to increase the customer segments? Or do you want to increase the geography presence? Okay, now we are not going to tell them what they should do. We are giving the framework to think, and we work with them, facilitate with them. So it's a facilitation that happens where we support them in their thinking journey. Okay, Pooja, are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, getting there.
So now,
so we are actually only advising them with the current resources that they already have, or where they should actually make those changes, right? So absolute analysis is
we are
done
giving
from
them a
them.
framework to evaluate their current system and giving them, and then working with them to see how they can improve. Like, for example, they say, we want to take from 100 crore to say 1,000 crores in the next 2 years. Okay. Then we look at, is the current product portfolio sufficient? We ask them that. Okay. And remember, in the background, we have already done research with them and also on our own to understand the industry, understand the competition, understand the big players, understanding the big customer segments, right? Understanding the suppliers. So we have to do a lot of homework. Okay. And so it's not like you can just go there and start speaking, right? So, but if you have done the homework and you understand the industry and you understand who are the big players and who are the customers and who are the big suppliers and how all those things are interconnected, right? Which is the way to understand the industry. Now, once you understand it, you're not starting to speak as an expert, but it helps you to ask the relevant questions. Right?
Exactly.
Your understanding doesn't make you an expert. It just makes you able to understand their responses and be able to ask the right questions, right? So then you look at, okay, we are at 100 crores. These are our current product. This is our current product portfolio. This is the breakup. Do we want to go to 1,000? Looking at all the trends, looking at the industry, looking at our own target customer segments, do we need to add to the product portfolio? If yes, how, when, why, where? Then you have to facilitate those discussions. You are not giving them any instruction. OD consultants don't give instructions. You facilitate the whole journey. Okay. Then you look at, okay, which are our customer segments? Are they enough? Do we need to focus on other customer segments? Can we increase our market share in these customer segments? Right? Then we look at geography. Okay, do we need to increase geography or do we need to increase our market share in this geography? Then you look at, okay, channel. The additional C is channel, PC, CG. Then you look at what is our channel right now for sales? What is our channel for distribution? What is our channel for delivery, service, right? And then do we need to expand our channel? So these are discussions you have with them. You don't tell them what to do. You discuss with them. Everything. Right. I just gave you one framework, right? The next framework is, for example, improve cost structure. Okay, so then you help you work with them to understand what is their cost structure. What are their fixed costs? What are their variable costs, right? And when based on the volume, how it is impacting them, right? So which products when the volume goes down, how does it affect? When the volume goes up, how does it affect? Because sometimes fixed costs should be low, sometimes fixed costs should be high, and vice versa, depending on the volume of the business. Okay. And the same, so then we look at their cost structures, their asset utilization. So those are questions. We know what questions to ask. We know what areas to focus on. We don't have answers. We don't want to have answers. We know how to think. We are training you in how to think in any industry. Right? So you can go into any industry and you can say, oh, these are the questions to think about. Oh, these are the issues these are the points for which we have to collect the data. So you know what to think about, you know what to collect data for. And then once you get them to get the data, also get them to get the data, then the data is in front of you, the questions and directions are in front of you, then you're doing joint discussions.
Right. How to basically analyze that data will be explained during the course itself.
For example, we say, if you want to win in the market, there are certain parameters that the customers evaluate you, right? So you understand these parameters and then you discuss with the client, okay, on all these parameters, how does the customer rate you? And then where do you think you need to improve? Now there are frameworks for, so basically we use frameworks for everything. Frameworks which help you to get the data, do the thinking, and then do the future improvement, right? Same way for processes, same way for talents. For everything, there are frameworks through which you think and develop.
Right. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, if you go and give advice, it will be suicide.
Yeah, because advice is something that can be
Nobody
challenged
wants.
at any point in time. So you must have some
nobody
statistics
wants,
in place.
Nobody wants advice.
Absolutely. So there has to be some statistics behind the
and
discussion or the question that you are raising.
Most of your clients will be more successful than you.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
If it's a 100 crore company or a 100 crore company, 1,000 crore company, right? If you start going and giving them advice, they will say, first you build business worth my size, then you talk. But if you give them a framework, they are willing to talk because then it makes sense. And these are all time-tested framework. For every element, there is a framework through which you think. Every aspect of the business.
Right.
Right. So that's what you learn in the course.
Yeah. So this framework basically helps to facilitate the discussion and then come to certain conclusion as to where we can improvise or rather the company can improvise.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay.
Right.
And these frameworks will be discussed throughout this program, right?
Yes, completely.
Okay. Okay.
For all the topics that we talked about, from leadership, culture, strategy, every element of strategy, every department, there will be frameworks through which you can look at every department, every function.
Got it.
Right?
Clear.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Everybody, thank you very much. Paul, hope it was useful for you.
Yep, very useful. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks,
Looking
everyone. Thank you,
forward to your
sir.
participation in the course. Everybody, thank you very much. And if you need anything, reach out to Hiren or me. Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Sure, thanks, everyone.
Bye.